Welcome to the DesignaKnit 9 video learning series. In this tutorial, we're going to go into standard garment styling section. We're going to say new garment and we're going to create a skirt. Adult, female, let's choose skirt. This grays out the tops over here and allows us to have options for skirts now. There's two different kinds of skirts. One are symmetric and one are asymmetric. Let's talk about symmetric skirts first. I like to make a 6-panel symmetric skirt. I'm going to say okay. I'm going to use my knitting machine. That's okay. I'm not going to change the tension yet until I have my finished tension swatch, and then I will go in and adjust it. I'm going to say casual ease is fine. A standard size. This time I'm in centimeters. I'm not going to pick my bust measurements. I'm going to pick either my waist or my hip measurements. This is okay. And now I'm to the body measurement page where I can make some adjustments. Here's my waist. Here's my hip measurement. We're going to measure around the widest part of your hip. The hip depth, if you're tall, this depth is going to be longer. Same thing as if you're petite, it's going to be a little shorter. Let's just say okay. And now I have a skirt. It is only showing me one of the 6 panels that I made. And there's a few things to notice here. This is our skirt styling. The total length is measured from the hem to the top of the waistband. And DesignaKnit assumes that you want to knit the hem and the waistband with your skirt all in one piece. But it adds a hung hem so that you can knit up to the dotted line, which is the beginning of your hem, knit a turning row, and then knit up to where the shaping starts and hang the inside of the hem. And then you're going to do some short rowing to get a nice curve for the bottom of your skirt. You're going to knit all the way up to the waistband, and you're going to do the same thing, a turning row and then some rows that are going to be the inside of your waistband, and then you're going to pick this up and you're going to cast it off. So I can change right now. This is a 6-centimeter waistband, but only 3 centimeters are on the outside and the other 3 centimeters are on the inside of the waistband. So when you adjust this, you have to remember that it's actually double the finished outside. Same thing for the hem depth. See how it puts a line all the way up to remind you that this hem depth includes the inside of the hem and the outside finished part of the hem. If I said File, save this as, I'm going to name this a skirt. I'm going to replace what's in there. If I went to original pattern drafting just for a minute, now you can see all 6 panels for my symmetrical skirt. 3 of them are going to be for the front, 3 of them are going to be for the back. And if I was knitting the front, here's my 2 hip seams, and here's the seams coming down in the middle of my front, a little bit off from the exact middle of my stomach to give a more flattering line, and the same thing in the back. Let's go back to standard garment styling. I'm going to say select garment type again, and let's look at asymmetric skirts. Now, I'm not going to knit 6 panels for an asymmetric skirt. Asymmetric skirts have a shaping for the hip part of the skirt panel, but the part that's going up in the middle is straight. So let's look at this asymmetric panel for a minute. And what's happening is this is your hip here, but the seam right up the middle isn't on an angle anymore. It's straight up. And this is a perfect choice if you want to put a little zipper up the back. Same thing, skirt styling. For my waistband, it's both the inside and outside measurements for my waistband, and the same thing for my hip depth. I can change the circumference. This will change how wide it is at the bottom. And I'm going to have shaping involved here. So you're going to knit up, you're going to do your turning row, you're going to hang this, and you're going to put these stitches in hold, and so that this part has a little bit more knitting than this part, and that will give you that nice curve when you're finished. If I go to original pattern drafting, and I'm going to save this, you can see here the two pieces. Here's two pieces for the front, and here's two pieces for the back, and you can see it is asymmetrical. I have one part of the seam is straight up and down where the zipper is going to go, and this is the part on the outside of your hip. Same thing for the front. If I go back to here and I choose instead 3 panels mixed, this gives me the same asymmetric skirt, and I'm going to save this. But if I go to original pattern drafting, I have 2 back panels, and here's my third panel, so it's mixed. These are in 2 halves so that you can knit this and put a zipper up the middle in the back, and the front is knit in one piece. No seam up the front. So that's a little more flattering for this particular style. Go back here. If I was going to knit this, and I went to interactive knitting for a quick second for the skirt, and let's just say panel 3, and it's saying it has 232 stitches wide, and so that's a problem. And so this is something for the asymmetric skirt that's going across your entire front that you're going to have to think of. So let's knit panel 1, which is half of the back. And here's the seam that's going right up the middle. And as I knit, I'm going to get up to here. And this is where I'm going to put stitches in hold. Now notice when you're doing this, it's telling you to knit all the way up here, but you're going to have to be careful because this is the whole hem, and half of it is going to be hung and half of it is going to be on the inside. So for this particular skirt, for me, the 3 panels mixed is not going to work, and I'm going to have to choose asymmetric 4 panels, 2 halves for the front, 2 halves for the back, and for me, I actually prefer symmetric with 6 panels, which gives you more of a princess line seam going down a little bit on the sides of your stomach, and I think it's a little more flattering for my particular body type. So you have a lot of choices here. And we're back to 6 panels. Thank you.